Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is your boy James, aka Hollywood J Blaq, live in the building once again. So, we just dropped a video a little while ago talking about the $200 4K TV from On that you can get directly from Walmart for about $200, a little bit of just strange change, you know what I mean? Now, everybody's been asking me, yo, Hollywood, what you gonna do about gaming, bruh? I mean, that's the big deal nowadays, especially with quarantine, stay at home, all that. The big deal is now gaming. And I said, you know what? You're right. Gaming you're right. I got you. You know what I'm saying? Little girl in the background, she watching me, but that's right. Gaming is the business. Gaming is all that I love. Everybody that knows me knows that I rock this Mega Man tattoo. Knows I rock the Vault Boy from Fallout. And so we got to ask ourselves, how can we ball on the budget when it comes to gaming? And I think that I may have just found a solution. And people ask me, this is something of a little bit of a controversial solution because there's been some big debates on the validity of this one. But I'm here to tell you that after testing it on my computer, I've realized that we can connect game with this one. And this is what we are pulling out of the box today. The Google Stadia Premier Edition. I can hear it. Can you hear it? Hey, what's that? You want me to play you? I just got to hook you up first. It's okay. And so we're going to play this. I'm going to show you exactly how it's going to work. Because with the 4K TV, this thing right here, with potential of 4K gaming, especially with my internet connection, we're going to go all over the specs and everything, so don't you worry. But this might be the solution for you under certain circumstances when it comes to gaming. It's a console, basically a console in the box, 4K gaming for $130. This just might be a solution for you. So let's go over the details, shall we? We shall. I just unwrapped the little boxy box. I mean, I'll put it to you straight. Everybody's done 1.5 million unboxing on these things. I'm not really going to go over too much detail with you, but I will call it like I see it. We just popped this thing open. Controller is in full effect. Got the headphone jack at the bottom. It is the USB Type-C charging service, so should be okay. Here's your plug. Your pluggy plug right there. And your little networking solution, which is going to come in handy. And then this is the Chromecast Ultra. So this is what's going to connect to your TV. This, if you so choose, right here is a network adapter. I'm glad that they actually thought about this when they did this. You can plug a network cable into this to get the most out of it. I am not going to because I'm plugging into the 4K TV in my room. And therefore, we're not going to plug in a network solution. I want to see how it performs on Wi-Fi. I know all the gamers are going to be like, but Jay, Hollywood, it performs better with a network plug-in. I know it plugs in. I know. But I ain't got that type of solution, and I'm not running a network cable all the way from my living room to my bedroom. When I eventually plug this into my living room, I just might do that. But I'm not doing that right now. So this is everything that's in the box. Call it package, full package. So let me explain a couple things before I get started on this journey of turning on, letting everybody know what the business is with the Google Stadia. It is not, and this is, I think this happened a lot with a few videos that I've seen reviewing the Stadia and this and that, and I have to explain this because I feel that this goes untalked about when it comes to the with the Google Stadia. It is not a console killer. I have to repeat this. It is not. I repeat, it is not a console killer. A lot of reviewers have came on and with the expectation, and I know that Google has had its flaws, and Google has done this, and Google has done that, but I think that they came in with the expectation that Google Stadia was going to be a console killer. It is not. Because you have to understand how the inner workings of licensing and all that jazz works. Because of all that and how that works, Google Stadia can never really be a console killer. However, it is a viable console alternative, okay? And I say this because remember, and this is from me, my working in the telecom industry previously, probably only 20%, maybe 25%, and I'm talking about actual land in the United States, and that number probably in itself is going to be exaggerated, has actual broadband internet that supports like online gameplay, okay? So the other part has 10 meg connections, 15 meg connections, 20 meg connections at best. Some don't even have that at all. I used to work with clients that barely could even get 2.5 out of their DSL connection. I know we were talking about DSL. That shit's old and okay, I get it, fine. But remember, that's the case. That's the reality for a lot of people. Cable companies and contracts and all that jazz, they don't feel the initial investment to invest in rural America. So sometimes you have these companies that come in and then, you know, they can give you, this is the most that they can give you. And then now you can't play online with people on the Xbox. You can't play online with people on the PlayStation. You can't play online with a bunch of people because your internet's so slow and then people think you're cheating. I have seen that, especially being an avid Destiny player. A lot of people, because their internet connection's laggy, they get deemed to be cheaters, and that's not cool. But this is a console alternative to the point where, because Google is what's handling the backbone of this entire situation. Google is strapping the servers to their back and be like, as long as you have a somewhat decent internet connection, you will be able to play games at their full potential. Now, 4K requires 35 megs. The average game, 1080p, requires about 10. That's my understanding. Going through the box, reading the instructions and all that jazz. So this is important. I'm doing this part of the video, before I go into turning it on, showing you how it works, and seeing what we can get out of it as far as 4K. So bear that in mind as we move along this video, okay? I'm not setting any bad expectations. I'm not that type of guy. I'm telling you like it is. It is a console alternative. So it is a little bit of a tedious setup process, but after we got it set up, everything's good to go. I checked my internet connection, and looky here, boy, looky here. 4K is enabled. Let me go move this thing right here. 4K is in full effect. Chromecast is up and running. And you know what? We about to get into some flipping Destiny. So, I've been playing this for about 2 hours now. In and out of different types of match types, different types of games, etc., etc. We played a little bit in Destiny of their new control section. A few things, just to kind of test how viable this is. 4K worked out very well. It's when we probably got a bunch of different connections inside the game that I was playing. That's when it kind of went wonky, kicked me out the game, but then brought me back into the same match where I was at. So my lovely daughter, who's my cameraman, so if it's a little bit shaky, I apologize. But so far, so good. And just to let you know, you can always see where your connection is at. If you click on that, it says that the connection's good. Ooh, move your finger, baby. The connection's good. It's in 4K HDR. I checked it a few times, and it still said 4K HDR. So, the couple things, like I said, we're going to get into a couple things with this as well. So no worries. I'll switch the video back to me and give you my full review. So this is my preliminary verdicts on what we're doing and how this all went. And we're going to have a conversation for a second. Let me get here. Let me turn on some lights. Oh, boy. So let's talk. Let's have a conversation, okay? So overall, when we're talking about balling on a budget status, three things have to be considered. For the price, what you're getting, is it going to consistently do what it's supposed to do? Will it retain the value of what you paid for it over the course of time? I think with the Stadia, it's to me, it's a ball on a budget deal. It may not work for some. However, Two things you have to keep in mind with the Stadia. The first and foremost, that it is a work in progress. There still needs to be more AAA titles added and more, MMOs, multiplayer games, stuff like that. The big bit one that's on Stadia is Battlegrounds, which I love. That means you can play Battlegrounds in 4K HDR with no problem. The one, of course, that's probably a deal breaker for some is Fortnite. Everybody loves Fortnite. So it is not available as of yet. However, that doesn't change how I feel. I mean, there's other AAA titles. The big Assassin's Creed games are on there. The fact that that it gives you free games by being part of Pro, just kind of similar to PlayStation Plus and Xbox One Live Gold, makes it worth it in the short term. The long term is going to be dictated by Google. Now, people have embraced it. There are people playing the game. I didn't have any problem getting a 12-man match to set up on Destiny. Didn't have any problem getting people lined up for Control to play to figure out the objective. But this is going to have to be, if Google wants to make this the Ballin on a budget deal, one thing it needs to do is needs a lot more multiplayer games. That's like the main reason why we would even go this route, right? I know everybody's gonna be like, well, Hollywood, there's a lot of benefits. And I'm gonna go over the benefits right now. The two big things that I like about Stadia is one, there's a free tier. You don't have to pay $120 to get the controller. You don't have to pay the big bucks to get a Chromecast, get a controller, and start playing Stadia. If you have a computer, and it doesn't even have to be a really spec'd out computer. It can be just something simple as an office computer. As long as you have a controller to play on, and Chrome installed in your browser, you don't need to invest anything else. You just buy the games, or you can play Pro games, and you're good. Pro is $9.99 a month, similar to what Xbox and PS4 is offering for the same shit. Now, the free tier is basically access. It gives you access to their servers so you can play games, do what you need to do. That in and of itself is the true balling on a budget deal. The fact that you can get a controller and the Chromecast 4K, put it on your 4K TV, start rolling, doing what you need to do. The fact that all that is there really is a ball on a budget deal, because for $129, because keep in mind the 4K Chromecast is $80, so then you're paying $40 for the controller. But this, you got the Chromecast, the controller, the access, and you can't beat that at all. You can't beat that. Buy another controller for about $40-50. Boom, you're done, and that's it. Now, if you liked what you saw, if you have any questions, have any comments, concerns, anything like that, hit me up in the comments. I love to hear what you guys have to say. I respond to any comments that you guys do, good or bad. Let me know your thoughts about Stadia. I love to see it. Like I said, I think all around it's a great thing. But again, everybody has their opinion. I've seen a lot of videos trashing Stadia, a lot of videos saying that it's not worth it. At a $129 compared to right now, you can't even get an Xbox or PS4 right now. Not any that support 4K gaming that are in stock right now. Xbox Series X is coming out in November, December. Same thing with the PS5, November, December. But 4K out the box gaming for $129, you can't beat it. Cop it. But other than that, more videos on the way, plus maybe a budget PC build that anybody can do. I think it's time to ball on the budget, baby. Holla at your boy. Deuces. So this is a 2-week update after using Stadia for 2 weeks. Am I still impressed by the system and how it works? Very much so. The premise of it, how it works, is perfect. There are a couple qualms as I'm going to talk about in a second as I flip it over to the game side. But there are always going to be qualms with certain things. So hear me out. I'm going to flip it over to the game side and then we'll talk about it. So a couple qualms that I do have with Stadia. it lacks players. That's probably the one thing in multiplayer games that you got to be like, yo, we need some players to actually play this game. It kind of makes sense that you need players in order to be able to play a game. A mass adoption is probably going to be the one thing that until something else happens is going to be a while. I mean, as you look, everything plays flawlessly. I know I'm potato camming it, and you can't see that it's in 4K. I think it's running 4K 30 as instead of 4K 60. But I mean, I want you to understand that, like, when I play on Stadia, I'm probably a big fish in a small pond. Because, you know, I know what I'm doing. I know, especially in Destiny, like, I'm a killer. Fairly decent at this game. But other people aren't, and you gotta understand that, because again, small mass adoption. I mean, there are other games that this qualifies with. Like, for example, in Destiny, I cannot play Rumble. Not a lot of people play Rumble in this, and if you do, you probably want to get there and stay with the people that you're playing with and pray that you're going to be able to play with them as well. And that kind of that upsets me just a little bit, because Destiny was one of the premier video games that came with Pro when it first launched. Like, we're talking about like the full Destiny thing. Like, Destiny, Bungie fully got behind Stadia when this thing launched. So that's kind of one thing that concerns me, but not really something that is going to deter me. The only thing that I would say that does kind of deter me, one of my biggest issues, is that games usually go on sale once a month in this platform. That's a big thing coming from Xbox and PlayStation, that usually when you're usually dealing with this, that disturbs me a lot, is that it's going to be rough coming, a rough go at it when you're trying to get games, because games are really full price, which is kind of sad in itself. So, for example, NBA 2K19 is now permanently priced at $19.99, given the fact that the new season isn't going to start until, you know, maybe December, January, possibly. But it's a rough go. Like, if I want to pick up, hold on, here we go. Like, if I want to pick up NBA 2K20 right now on Stadia, I gotta pay $60. That's not right. There has to be a way where the pricing structure, even digitally, the pricing structure needs to match what the developers are selling it as. I'm not gonna pay more for a game because it's on Stadia. That's not how it works. If I would end up saving more money in the long run by getting an Xbox One used. And maybe it won't be 4K, okay? But having to pay full price for a game is not going to be the business. And that needs to be something that Stadia needs to work out. They can't have sales just once a month. Different things need to be matching what you can buy. I don't want to say on PC, because it's still a little bit different factor than PC. But things definitely have to be at a different price than where we're at. Like, they got to match something. Come close to it. They could be a little more, but not be full price. That they need to fix. That's, I would say, was the one deterrent that I have from getting this, from full adoption. And that's, I mean, that might bother some people. Oh, let me a second. Drop the shield. Ah! I love this game. I love Destiny 2. I will still always think that it's one of the best games that's ever come out. Ever. I don't care what anybody says, and I don't care about the hate on it. But they have to match that. They got to figure out a better way of doing that. Until then, I mean, otherwise, as a whole, again, probably one of the best systems with the best concepts to come out. And all you need is a Chromecast in order to get it cracking. I love it. Again, no hate on this system. It's all love. And like I said, for something like this, at the price that you paid, $99 to get in now, is stellar. So I hope everybody enjoyed the video again. I want to thank everybody for watching Ballin on a Budget. This is, again, I love doing these things, love finding these deals where it's an alternative to what's out there. Not everybody has $300 for Xbox One. Not everybody has $400 for a PlayStation, but if you're trying to play some of the most popular games out there, Stadia is probably going to give you the best bang for your buck, as long as they fix the commerce problem. That's going to be a big thing. And like I said, the commerce problem is the only deterrent that stops me from saying, you know what, this is going to be a true 360, ball on the budget all the way around. Once they figure out the commerce problem, it's good to go. So until next time, folks, this is your boy Hollywood J Blaq signing off. We out this thing. Deuces.